Today we're sitting down with Nick Heggemann, Superintendent of the Silex R-1 School District, to walk through Proposition OWLS, which will be on the April 7th ballot. This isn't a full sit-down interview. The goal today is simple: help residents understand what this proposition is, why it's being proposed, and what it means for taxpayers. Nick, let's start at the beginning. What exactly is Proposition OWLS?
Proposition OWLS is a 49-cent tax levy increase to where it is currently. We're at a total levy of 4.01. This would take it up to 4.5 of a total levy. This is strictly for teacher salaries and staff salaries. The reason we have to do this is because our base salary is $35,900, and the state has a minimum teacher salary of $40,000 with Senate Bill 727, and that's the difference. So, for us as a district to move to $40,000, we need roughly $212,000 to filter $40,000 through our salary schedule. Currently we're paying for it through a Missouri grant. It's called the baseline salary grant, and so we're paying out the difference currently through that grant.
Why is the district proposing this now? Why not wait 2 or 3 years?
Because the bill is now, and it's only going up. It's not gonna get smaller. The $40,000 is gonna stay in place for the next 2 years, 27, 28, I believe. It's gonna move with inflation. So currently, it's moving $1,000 a year for the next 2 years. And then after that, it will be inflation. And 23, 24, the year 23 and the year 24, both of those years were 3.1 was our inflation rate. So it's going to be they do have a max on that Senate Bill 727 of a 3% increase each year.
If Proposition OWLS doesn't pass, what happens?
One, like I said, the state, we've been utilizing the grants, baseline salary grant, but what we're hearing from the state level is that money is kind of going away. They don't plan on using that anymore. So that would definitely be cutting into our dollars here. We do have a surplus currently, about 35%, and where we would just start having to cut into that money drastically. And it's all well and good. We couldn't do that, but it's not the best for our district and providing services for our students.
This is the question residents always ask. What does this mean for taxpayers?
So for tax-paying citizens, so a residential property is assessed at 19% of the assessed valuation. So whatever your assessed valuation is, so if you have a $200,000 house, it's roughly going to be about $185 annually. Obviously, the increased, if you have a higher assessed valuation of a house, obviously it's going to go up, but you can kind of roughly figure your numbers at that.
So I think you touched on this. Is this a new tax, an increase, or a continuation of an existing levy?
It is an increase in tax. So unfortunately, I know nobody wants to pay more taxes. Nobody wants to pay more taxes. And I don't want to have the constituents of the districts pay more taxes, but I don't see any other way of getting to that Senate Bill 727's mark of $40,000 without raising our increase of our tax levy for operations. Not to mention, I'm a little uncertain of where we're going with our SRO program to provide safety and security for our district. I know that the last couple of years, Prop P has been put down in the county, so that potentially could leave us funding the whole SRO program here at the district level.
What's one misconception you've already heard about Proposition OWLS that you'd like to clear up?
I think the biggest misconception is, are we going to build a gym? That is not the case. We are not going to build a gym. It is strictly for teachers and staff salaries. Prime example I put out on Facebook the other month was We have a student that we talk to on a regular basis at our lunch. She is working at Dairy Queen, and she's making $17.25 an hour. Well, not one of our paraeducators who work with students on a daily basis makes $17.25 an hour. So I did an on average, our paraeducators make $15.81 per hour, with 8 paraeducators that we have here in the district. So we're significantly behind. Want to try to help that be a more sustainable opportunity to work here in the district. Also, again, Senate Bill 727, like that, that's a lot of money to just pull out of our daily funding currently to meet that standard of 40,000.
Why should residents without kids in the district still pay attention to this?
Obviously, it is a ballot measure, so everybody in the community is going to have an opportunity to vote if you're 18 or greater. And for the tax-paying citizens, it would increase your taxes for sure. The one thing I will tell you is our school district is a really good school district, and we want to continue to have a really good school district. When we have turnover of our staff because they can go to Troy and make $13,000 more, it is really tough for us to maintain. And we're just trying to get to the minimum standard of Senate Bill 727. We're not even trying to get to where Troy is. We're, like I said, we're just trying to get to that minimum standard, but it is for everybody. Everybody is going to get affected by it that lives in the community.
Well, I want to open the floor up to you if there was anything that we missed, and if you would explain to them how they would be able to ask questions, get in touch with you if they have any questions. And again, just open the floor to you.
Great opportunity on both 18th of the month. So February 18th at 7 p.m. in our school cafeteria. We're going to open it up. I'll have like a PowerPoint presentation that I'll provide opportunities to go through some more information, and then we'll open it up for question and answers. Both February 18th and March 18th at 7 p.m. in our school cafeteria.
Thanks, Nick. Anything else?
No, I appreciate you, John. Thank you.
And we appreciate you taking the time to walk through Proposition OWLS and explain what's being proposed. This conversation is meant to help residents understand the issue before voting on April 7th.